Hello. I thought I'd do a video on cleaning my turtle's tank because, as you can see, he's been eating sweet potato and there's, I guess, a lot of fiber in that. So he needs his tank cleaned. So step one, I have these, what are these called? Cookie trays. And I put them here. And the reason for that is because his ceramic heaters are going to be hot. So I don't want to put them straight on the floor. So step one, because I need to be able to access the tank, is to get these heaters. Oh, this one's very hot. Get these heaters off. Them here, and then we remove the stand as well. Okay, so now that's out of the way. So the next step, we've got his fire escape here, and take off the lid, and now we have a scoop. And okay, and we have this really big bucket here, so this part's not too glamorous. We're just going to be scooping the water out of here and putting it in a bucket. Another thing that I do before I unscoop is I lay down a towel here. It's folded in half, and that way I can take out all of his stuff and just kind of put it on the towel. So first we pull out, oh, Janine, your water's so dirty. Poor little guy. Pull out his thermometer. The heater. He's got a rock here. Ugh, water's so gross. And he's got this hiding house. And this step is his least favorite part. We gotta pick him up. Even though he hates that. And put him up here on the shore. So there he is. Now we just have this big old thing of nasty water that I swear I just changed. But turtles use the bathroom a lot. You're really supposed to have a filter. It's a long story. I've tried doing that, but it hasn't really panned out. So I'm going to start scooping his water with this bucket. Oop, it's got a hole, so. And then I dump it in here. And I'm just going to be doing that until there's no more water. Okay, we've been scooping. So now we're at a point where when we do this, we're only getting like a little tiny bit of water. So that's where you put the bucket down, and we're going to take another towel and just kind of wipe out the last bits of water. Okay, so now the bottom of the tank and the walls and everything are dry. The next step, we have Fluker's Super Scrub. Shake it up. It has a brush on it in case you don't have a sponge, but I've noticed that it works better if I do have a sponge. So I unscrew the cap and I pour it on a sponge. Man, it's hard to do this with one hand. But I pour it on this sponge. Doop, doop. And sometimes it takes a little extra. So then we scrub it up, the bottom of the tub. And it gets all foamy. Okay. Make sure to get like in here. And then we're going to want to do the walls up to the point where the water line was. Sorry for the video quality. I'm unscrewing the bottle right now too. Man, I wish I had like I don't know how professional YouTubers do this. They must have like a other way of carrying the phone. So, scrub the sides. Make sure everything's nice and clean and all the nooks and crannies. Okay, but he cannot be in the water with all this stuff. So now we have to rinse it, and we still have this big disgusting thing. So what I do with this is dump it down the toilet, because if you put it in the bathtub or whatever, it'll clog it up. But so the key is to very carefully pour it down the toilet without spilling it. So I'm going to take this water and pour it down the toilet and then refill the bucket with a little bit of cold water to rinse out the tank. Okay, so now we are rinsing out the enzyme cleaner. So for that, I take this huge bucket and I fill it up with like a couple inches of water and then just pour it in here. And it'll splatter a little bit, which is another reason we removed these guys, the ceramic heaters. So now, now I take the little bucket and just kind of like wash off all the walls and like make sure that everything's completely rinsed. Okay, it's rinsed. So now I'm doing the same thing, but first of all, it's not gross water, so it's less unpleasant, and there should also be less of it because I don't fill up his tank all the way just for rinsing. But this is an important step because like you don't want him swimming in cleaner, you know? So we're going to dump out all this water. Okay. So this is where when I try to scoop, I only get a tiny bit of water. The second part, after the soap, I don't use a towel this time because I figure it's just a trace amount of water. And probably the amount of enzyme cleaner in that is negligible. But I'm using the soapy water to kind of get a head start on cleaning his tank accessories. So I've got them in here, and I'm just gonna one by one take them out, scrub them with this scrubber sponge, and then rinse them in the water and put them back in the tank. Okay, so now everything is scrub-a-dubbed and back in the tub. This heater, be sure you don't plug in the underwater heater again until after there's water. When we put the clean water in, it's gonna have chlorine, so that's why we need ReptiSafe. I think I've been trying to figure out how much to do. I used to put 1 teaspoon, but he doesn't go in the water for a while when I do that, so today I'm trying half a teaspoon. So just dump it in, and when the clean water goes in, it'll just all mix together. So this tank is all clean now. This is the other not so fun part, because this big thing of soapy water needs to go down the toilet, and then it needs to be refilled with non-soapy water from the tub. It's going to take a few trips. He doesn't like when I fill up the water all the way, so I just count from these ridges, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like the 4 line to the 5 line is where I fill it up to. So we're just going to have to make some trips to the bathroom, dump out the old water, get the clean water. And look at him. He's like, Mama, what are you doing? My water, it's a big change. I don't like change. I understand, buddy. Okay, be right back. Okay, all clean. The water is filled up. It usually takes about 2 to 3 trips, because I don't put too much water in the bucket at a time. So I've refilled this bucket twice, refilled the water. Then now, because the heater is underwater, it's safe to plug it back in. So I have a electric outlet under here, and I plug the heater back in. We take this stand, slide it back under the tank. Like that. And we're going to take these ceramic heaters, hang them up, tuck the cord in here so it stays. Really hard to do all this with one hand. I gotta find out how people do this. Maybe they have like a GoPro. Okay, take this, put it here. Oop. Okay, so his tank's back together. The water is done splashing, so I can turn his light on for the morning. Hi, Angel. And these cookie sheets, or cookie cooling trays or whatever, go back in their little spot. I use the towels to wipe down the edge of the desk and the inside of the bucket and the floor, and we're all done.